What's up, Commanders? DanBud here, and welcome back to another Elite Dangerous tutorial video. Today we're going to be talking about Powerplay 2.0. Now, if you are a existing Elite Dangerous player, you know the basics of Powerplay, and if you are new, well, this is going to be a long one. We're going to divide it up into 3 parts. We're going to show you what Powerplay is, where to get the info you need to participate in Powerplay, and how to participate in some Powerplay activities. I'm not going to go into all of them because it's a lot. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So what is Powerplay? Well, if you take a look at your right-hand status here, you're going to see on your home page this Powerplay tab. So let's go ahead and open it up. And here you go. So you see Powerplay, all of these different people. Who are these people? These are characters within the world and lore of Elite Dangerous. Some of them are part of the larger systems and governments, like Edna McMahon, or Mahan here, excuse me, is part of the Alliance. The 2 Duvals are part of the Empire. Then you have independents like Yuri and Lee, all the way down to pirate factions like Archon Delane here. There are 12 in total spread out among the Alliance, the Federation, the Empire, and Independents. And each one of them has kind of a different ethos, is what the game calls it. So, for example, let's take a look at my power right here. So what you do is you look at your powers and you pick one that you like. So, Ainsley Duval, so there is some biography about her. Ethos, so she likes to operate in a certain way. Now, do not worry too much about these acquisition, reinforcement, undermining terms. We will get to those in due time. What is important on this page is that her method of expanding her influence is basically through social media and social engineering. Now, each one of these is going to have their own different ethos. What you're essentially doing here is playing Risk on a galactic scale. Although you're not the commander, you're simply part of the army. You choose a power you want, and you help them achieve their goals. And this is done in a number of ways. So there are the acquisition of systems, the reinforcement of systems, and then the undermining of enemy systems. And each one of these is done in a certain way. As I said with Duval here, she likes to kind of do things through media networks and social engineering. Some of these are going to do it through much more direct, much more violent means. But those means are also available to you as a member of a faction like Duval. It's just that you can get more accomplished, according to FDev, if you actually use their ethos. And you will be getting assignments that kind of reinforce that. Speaking of, let's go ahead and take a look at weekly assignments. So what is this? Well, your rep is determined by your merits that you earn, and your rank goes up. You'll see that my next rank is 5,000 merits. Rank 4 is 9,000, 15,000, 20, and so on. And there are rewards at each of these. As the ranks go up, you'll see at rank 6, I'm going to get a mini care package. Also, minus 20% rebuy cost when killed in territory controlled by my power, and plus 20% search and rescue payout. Now, all of these rewards are going to be there for each faction. They just come in different orders. So let's take a look up here at rank 34. Access to the prismatic shield generator. Rank 39, the Imperial Hammer Railgun. Each faction has some equipment, but as FDev have stated, the reward tracks all are going to give you the same stuff, just not in the same order. And you'll see when we get way up here to rank 85, mini care packages, minus 100% rebuy cost when killed in a territory controlled by your power, plus 80% increase in minor faction reputation gained, again, territory controlled by your power, 160% search and rescue payout, minus 100% rebuy cost when killed by a ship pledged to another power, available in any territory not controlled by. So there are some pretty hefty rewards, and if you really need to look into them, there is always the help function here. And this is actually a good map right here. As I said, you're kind of trying to extend your power's influence and undermine the influence of the other powers. And there are players pledged to each faction that are working for and against your power. You'll see here, here is my faction's leaderboard for the week. And that's really the basics of this menu. That is what Powerplay is. It is kind of a way to engage with the major powers and expand your influence and fight against the other powers that are present in the game. Now, there are two ways to get to the next objective for our video, which is where do you get your info. You can open this territory map if you happen to be over here, and what it's going to do is it's going to pop over to your status and navigation panels, and it's going to open up the galaxy map. So let's open the galaxy map, and there you go. There is a whole Powerplay map mode down here. You can use it to turn powers on and off. And as you can see here, once you do that, it's a lot, and I don't believe we even have, we don't even have everything active. Let's turn on the filters here. And there are your different systems. Now, systems, as you can see, have 4 different states: unoccupied, exploited, fortified, and stronghold. This is indicating the level of influence that one power might have over the system. You'll see this one right here, tug of war, it's exploited. What happens is you have systems that extend influence over systems around them. So if you have, let's see here, a fortified system, let's find one of those for my power here. And of course, you do have a home-based system. There you go. So if you can read right here, fortified systems have a high level of reinforcement and maintain control over nearby exploited systems. So this is how you branch out. You take systems, you exploit them, you get them to fortified, etc., etc. And you'll see activities here that do actually contribute to that. So, for example, transporting power play commodities, power association and political data, collect escape pods, holoscreen hacking, flood markets with low-value goods, all that kind of stuff. And your factions are going to tell you what needs to be done for those systems. You also have the stronghold system, and of course there is a headquarters system. Different gameplay loops are going to be associated with each one of these, but they're all fairly easy to look up and kind of suss out what you need to do. Now, how do you actually find these systems and what you want to do? Because you may have noticed that the information so far doesn't seem to use the same terminology. If we look here, reinforcing is not really on this bit of information. That's because your actual best friend for power play is right here, the activity filter. I'm going to filter this by my power, right there. And you can see all of our systems, ones that are resisting undermining, ones that we're acquiring, ones that we're reinforcing, and ones that we are undermining. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one right here. So you can see that we are trying to undermine this system. It's currently controlled by your Grom. Control points are essentially at 0, and those control points is what your meddling in the system essentially will do. This is a Torval system that's under control that we are trying to get. So this is where your real bread and butter of finding out exactly what the heck am I going to do is. So fairly simple. This is your best friend for finding your actual missions. Now, how do you interact with those missions? Well, at each station, you guys may have noticed in Starport Services, under contacts, this one right here, this is the power contact. They are what it says on the tin. They are the contact for your power. You can do a lot here. You can collect resources. Now, the commodities here I can only get from a stronghold system. Acquisition commodities are also available in fortified systems, and then you take those to power contacts in other systems to affect their control score. Pretty simple stuff. There are a cooldown on it, so you can only get a limited number every 30 minutes or so, and this is where you would hand those in another system. This is a lot of power play resources right here. Things like mega ship data, military schematics, electronics packages. You can notice there are a lot of scan things in here. Now, that is not all you can hand in. That's where you would claim your care packages. Here are bounty vouchers if you are killing members of other factions. Black boxes, wreckage, collected or occupied escape pods, damaged escape pods, and personal effects. These are all things that can come from blowing up other ships for other factions or looking in signal sources that may be power wreckage or convoy dispersal patterns. Your main interaction with the power gameplay loop is going to be coming to this contact right here and giving what they want or taking it and taking it to another spot. And most stations will have one of these. Now, let us take a look at the missions. Now, power play missions can be found in one of two spots. They can be found right here, or they can be found right here in power play in your weekly assignments. So, You'll note that I have scan ships and wakes in the Minguru system, salvage cargo from reinforcement systems, sell rare goods in the Minguru system, rescue escape pods from HIP 96880, and research and industrial data from that same system. Now, guys, there's something that you should be aware of. And when it comes to things like rescuing escape pods from this system, you can turn in escape pods from any system to your power contact. But if you have a specific rescue from a certain system, it will not count towards this mission. And the reason you want to have things count towards these missions is they hand out a lot of merits. You can see right here, 3,600 merits for this mission. This one is 5,600. You need to pay attention to the source and destination systems. You will still earn merits for escape pod rescue. It just won't count towards this, meaning you won't get your progress towards that big old 3,600 merit jump. And as you can tell, that's most of a level when you're starting out. So that's a lot of menu stuff. Let's talk about how we're actually going to do this. So let's take one of these easy ones. Scan ships and wakes in the Minguru system. Sell rare goods. So we're in that system. Let's go ahead and launch. And this is just about one of the most brain-dead simple ones you can do, but it is a perfect example of how simple some of the gameplay loops are. They are actually things that you can engage in as you travel around doing other missions you may have picked up, or looking for bounties, looking for resources of mine, that kind of thing. Some of them will require you to be a little bit more specific, but there are several of them that are just kind of activities you can engage in on the fly. So let's go ahead and get out of here in the Corvette. Let's let the AI go here because, wow. But we're going to go ahead and scan them on the way out. There, we accrued some merits. But more importantly, we have scanned a ship or a wake in the Minguru system. Now, how easy is it to just hang around outside here and just go ahead and scan ships and wakes, and you'll have this done in just a few minutes by hanging around outside of a space station. Just make sure you don't loiter too much and get shot down. There we go, 12 merits acquired. So this is, as I said, dead simple. Let's go ahead and jump on up to Super Cruise and have a look, and we'll talk about a couple others that you can do fairly easily, and that being some of the stuff like the salvage cargo from reinforcement systems, escape pods, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and low wake out of here. There we go. Now, again, I want to point out to you guys that I am not in one of the systems that it wants escape pods or research and industrial data from. However, the principle of how to do it will function in this system. I just, as I said earlier, will not be getting progress towards those specific missions. But all those unidentified signal sources that you see around, well, just simply target one of them and have a scan on it. And this is power signature wreckage. This is absolutely perfect. So this is, the faction is Torval. Now, now, if we were in a system such as, what is it? HIP 96880, this would be perfect. What you would do is drop in here, and I'm going to demonstrate it anyways, but drop in here, and you would just go ahead and scoop up everything that you see. This is a great time to have a limit controller on your ship. As we drop in here, if we look at the contacts map, all of this stuff is fantastic for Powerplay. It is not great for my mission because it's not coming from the right system, but you still want to collect this stuff if you are trying to earn any merits, because you also get to sell it for credits. So it's kind of a why wouldn't you do it kind of thing. But just, again, guys, I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but just know that you would not be getting full credit for it with that mission, such as the one I have, just because it's not coming from the right system. Still, you are going to be able to sell these back at your power contact to get the rewards and get some merit. So it is inherently worth it to do it. But if you're trying to maximize your merit gain, then make sure you go to the system that you have been tasked to go to by your weekly assignments and grab those. The weekly assignments are going to be the quickest way for you to make sure that you get a whole lot of those merits. Now, as I said, there are other things you can do. You can go around and hack holosigns. I do have a video that shows you exclusively how to do that. You can look for conflict zones that feature your power versus another power and go in there and kill representatives of the other faction. That'll give you those merits. A variety of ways. Just look at the map, and let's go back and take a look at that one more time before we wrap. And look at your systems, and they will tell you exactly what to do. Transport commodities, complete aid and humanitarian missions, sell for large profits, holoscreen hacking, collect escape pods. Let's pull out Duval again. And let's go to a acquiring system if we can. So you see this one is unoccupied, but we are running up the control score here. And collect escape pods, holoscreen hacking, sell rare goods. Look at the systems, look at this Powerplay information right here, and determine what you want to do and where you want to go. This map right here, the activity filter, is your absolute best friend for getting around in Powerplay and figuring out exactly what to do to maximize, where you are getting things from and how you're sourcing them. And that is really going to do it for the basic overview of Powerplay 2.0, guys. I know it's a lot, but if you use the tools that the game has given you, then it should not be all that bad. And it looks like we might also have somebody to kill here. So this is a representative of Torval. They are not going to live very long. Oh, silly eagle. Keep an eye on the right-hand corner up there. There's the bounty. There's 300 merits. Things like that will happen. Just be prepared. As I was saying, guys, that's the basics of Powerplay. You can always dig through the help guide for more, but I find that for myself, a more condensed overview can help sometimes, so I hope it helped you guys out. If you liked the video, if it did help you out, hit like and subscribe. Really helps the channel out. If you have something else you'd like me to take a look at in Elite Dangerous, leave it in the comments below. And if you're here to the end, watch time is key on YouTube, so thank you very much. My name is Dimebot. I will see you guys next time.